You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back again. This is Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. Show is brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American family agent, Kim believes that there is so much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Give her a call at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
If you're renting out a property for the first time, there's a lot you need to know so that you can do it successfully and, frankly, keep yourself out of trouble. Luckily, there's a statewide resource with all the tools you need to run your new business successfully. In fact, the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association regularly holds a seminar called Accidental Landlord, specifically designed for people who are renting out a property for the first time. They also have residential leases, security deposit agreements, a lead disclosure, and lots of other forms. They even have brochures on the principles of successful property management and the eviction process that you can download for free. So if you want to know more about the Accidental Landlord Seminar or other classes about owning, managing, or maintaining anything from a single unit to a growing apartment portfolio, visit the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association's website, mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com.
We're talking to Attorney Dan Greenstein with Bernick Lifson. The question is, if you, from our listeners, if you're my HOA's attorney, you represent me, right? And I think what is implied here is that, hey, any of the vendors, contractors, service providers that is paid by the association is for all homeowners. If that's true, how come in the case of an attorney, the attorney seems to take direction from the board of directors and not the individual homeowner? And Dan, can you address that?
I think, Gene, that's just part of the deal that you sign up for when you live in a homeowner association. You have agreed, by virtue of the governing documents of the association, to elect a board of directors to make the decisions for the association as a whole, and you've given up some of your control, some of your normal homeowner rights. You give up to that board of directors by virtue of living in an HOA.
And so that's really the same. It would hold true for anybody else. The person who says, hey, the grounds care company works for all of us, but they don't. That doesn't mean that an individual homeowner has the right to be able to tell the grounds crew, hey, why don't you get out your trimmers and trim the bushes back a little bit more here at my property.
That's exactly right. You can imagine the confusion if every individual owner could instruct a vendor how they wanted something done.
Yeah. And so in this essence, I guess the way to take a look at it, the attorney, of course, is always working in the best interest of everyone in the association. But what's in the best interest is following those governing documents, because that was what everybody agreed to, and saying this is how we're going to be fair and consistent with one another, right?
Exactly. And not only that, that's what the law says you have to do, is follow the governing documents.
Okay.
So, really that's something, the person submitting the question, if they were to sit down and read the governing documents, which I understand is quite a task, but if they were to sit down and read them, it would explain that their role in the association is to vote for a board of directors that will act on behalf of the association.
Maybe just sort of one side thing here before we leave this particular topic. One other thing that comes up every once in a while, Dan, is that people will say, you know what, the association has an attorney, and they'll ask you to, and if you're their attorney, they'll ask you to follow through on a matter or an issue. But every once in a while, as an attorney, you come back and you say, I've also represented this person or that entity, and I'm going to have to step back. Tell people why that becomes necessary.
Well, when you're acting on behalf of a client, an attorney owes their allegiance and all of their expertise to that client. And if there's another party involved in somewhat in the same matter, the attorney can't serve the best interests of both sides. They have to completely represent the one party they started to work with, and tell any additional parties you're going to have to find another attorney to help you. I'd happily recommend someone, but because I'm representing the first party, I can't also be involved with you.
Yeah. I think it's really the same kind of deal that board members need to remember as well in how to deal with conflicts of interest. This idea or notion that there's never any competing interests. People in life all the time have competing interests because they have, as you said, allegiances to different people, different organizations, different entities. And when you realize that you have an allegiance to two entities that are competing, you need to disclose, and that's one of the best things you can do, and then step back to allow others to be involved in that decision-making process, correct?
Absolutely.
Well, let's deal with the second question that we have here today, Dan. This is from a listener, and they said, I thought that in a homeowners association that they have no business in telling you what you can and can't do in your own home. They can tell you what you can do outside of your home, but the inside of your home is yours, and they can't tell you what to do. So why am I being made to change my washer hoses? Why am I being made to clean dryer vents? I don't think the association has the authority to do this.
Well, there's a misconception there for sure, because the association has the right, and really they have the responsibility to enforce the health, safety, and welfare within all of their property, including on the inside. So if there's a likelihood that a washer hose or a dryer vent is old and needs repair and could threaten damage to not only that one homeowner's unit but to adjoining units, it is the association's responsibility to ensure the maintenance is taking place.
Yeah.
It's true that, you can paint the inside of your unit any color you want. You can have whatever furniture you want. You can maintain your appliances at whatever intervals you want. But when it comes to health, safety, and welfare and things that could threaten catastrophic events to adjoining units, that is the association's business.
Yeah. I know that one of the things I've begun to see over the last few years is I've had that specific of a question even being asked by insurance agents who are asked to get a lot of questions answered before an insurance company puts together a quote or a premium for that association on whether or not they're going to be insured. And one of those things has been, is there a regular maintenance schedule for cleaning of vents and for replacing of washer hoses, because there's been so much damage that's been done because of fires that have been started in dryer vents, and also because of the leaking from one unit down to another because of a hose. And it seems like it's a real small expense, but can do some big-time damage.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, the insurance company is obviously making sure that when they write this policy, they're hoping that these kind of steps prevent them from paying for losses. And that's really the same type of forward thinking that the association needs to do to limit those kind of losses and fires and flooding. And it makes sense that in a property where the association and all of its members pay for most of the insurance policy, that they would be able to take these steps to try and prevent this from happening.
Yeah. One of the things that I've seen that's happening more and more, insurance companies are being a lot more proactive in the types of questions that they're asking or demands that they're making. One that I'm seeing now, too, that never saw before the real estate bubble popped a few years ago, and that was asking whether or not you have at least 50% of the homeowners actually living in the units at all times. I had one property, Dan, where it's only a small building, 21, but I bet you 15 of those people go down south for the winter. And we found out that the insurance company said, I don't know if we're going to insure you because there are not enough people around here to know if a disaster were to take place and give us a call. So, well, Dan, looks like by the music theme song here, we're at our end of our time here. Thanks for taking time to be on the show today.
My pleasure, Gene.
That was attorney Dan Greenstein with Bernick Lifson. Folks, thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you here next week on Where You Live.